The fall Hofstra sports slate has begun, but it's never too early to look ahead to Hofstra men's basketball. We're going to release the schedule today. I'm Mark Weiner here with Hofstra head coach Joe Mihalik. And Coach, less than 2 months away. How excited are you?
We can't wait to get going. And I said it before we got on the air. I can't say I can't wait to play these games because they're all going to be tough ones, but we can't wait for the season to begin.
Of course, and it's less than 2 months away. November 9th, you guys will start. But before I tell you who you will play, well, you already know, but before I tell the viewers who you're going to play, Hofstra men's basketball season tickets, just $180. All 16 games you get here at the Max Sports Complex. Plus, this year it's a special thing. You get all women's basketball home games as well. So it's a full slate of basketball here at the Max Sports Complex. Just $180.
Honestly, that's an incredible deal.
Yes.
That's fabulous. So.
Well, the first
Go
one,
buy those tickets.
Exactly.
And
we'll talk more about why you should buy the tickets as we go along. But for now, Friday, November 9th, 7:30, the men's team will tip off. Before that, the women's team will play a game. Their schedule will not release, so it'll be a doubleheader as become tradition with these two teams. Mount St. Mary's here at the Max Sports Complex. It's a pretty tough team, 18-14 last year.
Yeah, good tradition. Their coach has moved on. They have a new coach coming in who did a great job there as a former assistant, and he was a head coach up in a very good Division II school up in New England. They'll be ready to go, and they'll be excited to play that game. And we're going to have to. I know we'll be excited as well. But you were on that first night about those first game jitters and the excitement and all that stuff. But it is what it is, and we can't wait to play that one.
And they're a fairly young team, as you mentioned, with the new coach, so they'll be just getting their bearings as we go in. And we just want to remind the viewers, if you have any questions for us, put them on the Facebook Live thing. There's a little comment bar, and I'll ask them to Coach Mihalik for you. I'll be your conduit, if you will, to the head coach of the Hofstra men's basketball team. Then just 2 days later, on November 11th, you guys go to Marshall, and we know what the Thundering Herd did last year. They upset Wichita State in the NCAA tournament after winning the Conference USA title. They bring back almost everybody.
So our staff, I don't mind sharing this with everybody, our staff sat around and talked about our schedule just a couple weeks ago, and we played this little game. What's going to be the toughest game on our schedule? And there's a lot of tough ones, without even talking about league play, a lot of tough ones. And one of the coaches said Marshall at Marshall. They don't lose. They were 13-2 there last year. They don't lose down there. They have a kid named John Elmore on the team who was at the Crisp Hall, the CP3 camp with Justin Wright Foreman. Quite an honor for Justin. This guy, John Elmore, was there as well. And they have another guard who scores a lot of points. Mike D'Antoni's brother, Dan D'Antoni, is the coach. They get up and down that floor. They played William & Mary last year, and the final score was 114-104. So it'll be one of those games where we're going to have to figure out who can play a little bit better defense.
And they certainly will be a tough team, that's for sure. And you guys like to play offense too, so it should be a run and gun style. And I hope you beat them, not just because I'm a Hofstra fan, but they upset my bracket last year. It's just killing me.
Okay.
I had Wichita State. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Then he'll come back home Wednesday, November 14th. North Carolina A&T, 20-15 loss in the MEAC semis. Another tough opponent at home.
Well, and the added toughness there is that their head coach is from Long Island. His name's Jay Joyner. He's coming. He'll be excited about it. One of their players is a Long Island guy who's, I think he's their leading returning scorer. So it's going to be. We play 4 games in 8 days. So we're here Friday night against the Mount. Sunday we're in West Virginia playing Marshall. We'll try to get back Sunday night late, and then Wednesday, real quick, we're playing North Carolina A&T. So the prep's going to be tough. The preparation will be tough, and hopefully we won't look past them, of course, because you're going to talk about the next game we have as well.
And I feel like this is preparing you for the league play when you guys play that. What is it? Wednesday, Friday, or the 2 days.
Unfortunately,
per
it's
week
Thursday,
schedule.
Saturday.
Thursday, Saturday, yes. Thursday, Saturday schedule, so I've noticed a lot in this non-conference schedule, a lot of games bunched up, and that helps you with league play.
Yes, it does. It does.
And the next game, as you mentioned, it's a doozy, probably the highlight of the non-conference schedule at Maryland, a Big Ten opponent. Yes, they lost to Wisconsin in the first round, but it's Wisconsin. They made a deep run last year, and there's a CAA connection there. Former head coach of JMU, Matt Brady, is now an assistant in Maryland,
yes.
So a lot of connections there.
Yes, there is, and it's a great place to play, great venue. It's a trip that I hope some of our alums can get to. I mean, it's not a tough trip. We're hoping some people will come down there, jump on a bus, jump in a car, jump on a train. There'll be some alums down there, but it'd be great to have some people down there because it's a great, as I said, great venue, great team, great tradition, and it's as you said, it's probably the marquee game on the schedule.
And it's a place that Hofstra fans are familiar with. Obviously, Baltimore used to be the home of the CAA tournament. Now, obviously, the North Charleston Coliseum for one more season. The next game, back at home against Cal State Fullerton on Wednesday, November 21st. at 7 p.m. They were 20-12 overall. They bring back pretty much all their key players, a team that made the NCAA tournament last year.
Well, and the reason we're playing that game is because their best player is a teammate, former high school teammate of Justin Wright Foreman.
Okay.
So they're bringing him home for the game. So that'll be that little sidebar there is going to make it exciting. And by the way, very, very good team. I mean, this is a team that did well in their league. They won their league. They have everybody back, as you mentioned. I mean, it's going to be that'll be a really, really challenging game against a very good team. And of course, they got a guy on the team who played in high school with Justin, and we got to make sure that doesn't become Justin versus their best player.
Well, that'll be the hype going in, but obviously it's two teams playing each other,
Yes, it is.
not just two guys. And the next Saturday, the 24th of November, a former CAA rival at VCU. First time these two teams have played since VCU left for the A-10 in 2012, and Hofstra's 5-15 all time, but obviously that's league play. You throw that out the window, it should be an exciting renewing of the rivalry.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's a great team. It's we recruit against those guys. We're recruiting guys that they're recruiting, and we're anxious to get out there and play that game. It'll be tough. You talk about a team that doesn't lose at home. There's a team that doesn't lose at home. VCU, another great venue, and probably some people. We just said that Maryland might be the marquee game on the schedule. Some people will think that VCU is because of the prior history with the two teams.
Exactly, and if you remember VCU going all the way to the NCAA tournament back in 2011, and then jumping conferences going a little bit higher. So they're a program that's been trying to steadily incline their notoriety, if you will, after leaving the CAA.
Yes, they are.
And then we go to a MAC team. It's a conference you're very familiar with, obviously, formerly of Niagara. Siena at 7 p.m. Wednesday, November 28th. They struggled quite a bit last year. They were 8-24. They have a new head coach, Damian Christian, who actually comes from Mount St. Mary's, so a little bit of commonality on the schedule there, and it should be an interesting game here at home.
Well, I should let you gloss over this, but they did struggle last year. But they beat us, so they got us early before they kind of started to spiral the wrong way. They did beat us, so I'm hoping our guys will remember that and remember that we got to defend our home court.
Yeah, I was trying to gloss over that for you, Coach, but
I appreciate that.
Nonetheless, they'll have a mostly new roster, so it'll be a different game upcoming.
It will be different, a new style too, because their coach is a coach that used to be at VCU, and he likes to press and run up and down the floor, so it'll be a different style.
And this ends the November slate. Now we get into December as we approach the holiday season. I don't want to think about the cold weather just yet, but it's still September. December 1st, a road trip on a Saturday to Kennesaw State. Going down to Georgia, they were 10-20 in the Big South. They did lose most of their scoring from last season, so it'll be a high roster turnover.
It will be, but I mean, every game on the road, if you can win a game on the road, it's an upset. So that'll be tough to get down there. And their coach is, I keep talking about Long Island people. There's another guy, their coach is a guy from Long Island, so he'll have a little more interest in this game than some of his others, I would think.
Fans, we remind you, if you have any questions for Coach Mihalik about the schedule or anything, just type it into the comments bar. I'll be happy to ask them to Coach Mihalik. We go back home for two games, first starting on Wednesday, December 5th, a pair of MAC teams. Monmouth will come to the MAC Sports Complex at 7 p.m. Played last year, you guys beat them 85-84 in a very closely contested battle. I remember that game. That was quite the thriller. 11-20 last season overall, and they regressed after that 27-win season, and the NIT did.
Yeah, that game we stole that from them, and they know that, so they're going to want their revenge. That was a miracle win we had where we missed a foul shot on purpose, and Justin missed a foul shot on purpose. We were down 2. We missed it on purpose. Stafford tipped the ball out to Jalen Ray, and Jalen Ray knocked down a shot that got us as a #1 play on SportsCenter that night. So but they're going to remember that as much as we are. So we better be ready for that one.
Yeah, I mean, is it embarrassing to have a #1 play against you on SportsCenter? What would you say?
Yeah.
If Hofstra was on the top 10, but they were the losers of it, would that be a bad thing?
Yes, we don't want that.
Well, you didn't have that last year. A couple times on this top 10 last year. You got to give props to SID Stephen Gorchov on that one.
Stephen Gorchov is like he's the GOAT. He's the best there is out there. He gets us on. Even if we shouldn't be on SportsCenter, he gets us on there.
Well, that was an incredible play. It deserved to be on there. A couple days later, still at home, December 8th against Ryder. They were the best team in the MAC last year. They had 22 wins, 15-3 in league play. That game will be at 4 o'clock, by the way. Lost in the MAC quarters, though. They were one of the best teams, and they lose in the MAC quarters. Did go to the NIT. That's just an upset for them last season.
Yeah, they had a great year. They got everybody back, too. Another game, I mentioned earlier that one of our coaches thought Marshall was the toughest game on the schedule. Another coach said Ryder was. That will be one of the sneakiest, tough games. Not for us, but for the fans to realize what a tough game that's going to be. That'll be a great game.
And we'll remind you, fans, Hofstra men's basketball season tickets, just $180. It's the best deal you'll get on Long Island for 16 men's games, 13 women's games. So you get the whole basketball slate here at the Mac Sports Complex, and all season ticket holders will get a stainless steel tumbler for each account. And again, just $180. We need your home court support. How important is that to have a packed Mac?
Well, I mean, there's nothing like it. I mean, you want to have, you've heard the expression, that sixth man in the stands. And when the students come and when the fans come, this is a great place to play. It's a beautiful venue. I think the style is good. We're going to have coming back as the player of the year in the conference last year, Justin Wright forward. It's an exciting style of basketball. We're going to get up and down that floor and score some points, and we're going to play hard. And it's a fun night. I mean, it's, basketball, not to compare it to other sports, but football, you can't even see those guys. They got their helmets on. Basketball, you can see everybody. You know who they are. It's a great sports. It's a great fan game. And hopefully we'll get some people there for these games this year.
And we'll get a little bit into Justin Wright Foreman a little later. I know he's the main attraction. Obviously, the whole team is high flying, but Justin Wright Foreman's on another level. I think you'd agree with me at another time. Let's get back to the schedule, though. Monday, December 10th, at Manhattan, you guys lost a very low-scoring game last year, 63-61 at Adelphi. It was a home game that had to be moved. They were only 14-17 overall, but they're one of the top teams usually in the MAC that just had a down year.
Really competitive team, very well coached. They just make you play their style. They just make you play their way. That's a credit to them and their style. So we're going to have to see if we can't, as much as we talk about, see if we can't get them to play a little bit more the way we play.
And playing at Manhattan is definitely tough. That is a tough place to play.
No treat. Yes. They don't lose many games there.
And they lost 4 of their top 5 scorers, so it'll be a different roster that beat you last year. At Stony Brook on Wednesday, December 19th, that's my favorite game. When I used to call the games, going to Stony Brook or them coming here, there's always a charged atmosphere. The second best team on Long Island that you're playing is at Stony Brook. Obviously, Hofstra being the number 1 best team on Long Island. So, how pumped up do you guys get for that?
Well, pun intended, it's a pride game. It's a pride game. We have to, it's the crosstown rivalry game. Yes. It's the non-conference arch rival. So, it's one of those games. It's failure's not an option. They feel the same way. Mm-hmm. They feel the same way. So, it'll be tough there. They play well in their building. It's a game we always look forward to, but we also know it's going to be a tough one.
And they have failed often against the Hofstra Pride. Hofstra is 21-5 all time against the Stony Brook Seawolves. And how about on the court? What do you see from that team?
We have to mention that.
I do. Yeah.
You do. Okay.
You don't like mentioning it too?
No, because they're going to watch this and they're going to. No, I'm just kidding.
I said it. You did it. That's all that matters. But what about basketball-wise? How do you think you compete with that team?
Well, it's always a great game. We had, my first year here was that the year. First time we played them, I think Deion Nesmith hit a buzzer beater here in the building, and then they got us. We had a shot to win it. Wanye Green senior year, they beat us when Wanye Green was here, and that was one of our best teams we had. That team won the regular season, and we lost them there. So it's always a tough one when you play that.
And finally, to end the non-conference slate, just a last game to get by, but you're not going to look at it that way, obviously, before the holiday break. Saturday, December 22nd, at the Mac Sports Complex, playing Rosemont College, the CSAS. I've never said that before. They were 17-10 last season, and a team that's be a nice tune-up before the CAA slate.
Well, it's a very, very well-coached team, and it's great to get them on the schedule and get them up here. And one of our former graduate assistants, Ryan McGee, played for Rosemont. So.
Okay. And let's just get you the entire schedule one more time, just in case fans missed anything. They will start Hofstra men's basketball Friday, November 9th, and a doubleheader with the women's basketball team, tipping at 5:30 for the women's team. They will release their schedule at a later time. They're playing Mount St. Mary's at 7:30. Then at Marshall on Sunday, November 11th. Back home for North Carolina A&T on the 14th of November at Maryland. One of the highlights, as we mentioned before, on Friday, November 16th. Then Wednesday, November 21st versus Cal State Fullerton here at the MAC. At VCU on November 24th. That's a Saturday. And Wednesday, November 28th, Siena will be coming to the MAC. That closes out December. Then, November, now going to December. Saturday, December 1st at Kennesaw State down in Georgia. 2 home games in a row, December 5th against Monmouth, then Ryder on December 8th. That's a Saturday. Then 2 away games at Manhattan and at Stony Brook on December 10th and 19th, respectively. Obviously, you give the guys a break for their finals around that time. And then closing out the non-conference schedule will be December 22nd. Rosemont College comes here to the Max Sports Complex, and then what you play for comes.
Yeah.
A weekend series against 2 of your rivals, Delaware and Drexel, Friday, December 28th and December 30th against Drexel here at the Max Sports Complex. Those games have to pump you up.
Yeah, those are long-standing rivals with Hofstra. They've all forever. It seems like forever they played against Drexel and against Delaware, and won't matter what the records are when you play those 2 teams. It's just two good games no matter what.
And Coach, I think you guys will be towards the top of this preseason poll most likely with the defending champions, College of Charleston and Northeastern. How do you think you stack up, and how do you see the league this year?
Well. Yeah, you just said it. I mean, those 2 teams tied for first place last year, and Northeastern has everybody back, and College of Charleston only loses a couple of guys, and so they'll get picked for 1 and 2. There's no doubt they'll get picked 1 and 2, and after that we don't know. I guess we could get picked 3rd. I guess we could get picked 7th. I don't know, but we'll be in that next level of teams that can compete to win the league. So we're excited about the team. We really like this team. We know it's going to be challenging. I think our league was ranked the number 1 offensive efficiency last year of all the 31 conferences. So, whoever can play a little bit better defense or whoever can just find a way to score even more can be the team to end up on top.
Now, in terms of your players, last year you had a lot of post presences like Hunter Sabady. Now coming into this year, who do you have? Who's going to pitch in there? Who's going to be your main post presences now that you lose 2 big guys?
Well, we got 3 new guys, but they're not new to the game. They're not new to college basketball. So Jaquil Taylor is a graduate transfer from Purdue. So he's played at Purdue. He's had some good games there. He played against NBA players. Every one of his practices there at Purdue with those big guys they've had there. And we also have Danny Dwyer, who's a graduate student, played at the University of Pennsylvania. And so he's got great experiences behind him. So even though they're new to Hofstra basketball and new to the CAA, we're excited about those 2 guys. And of course, we got Kevin Skutta. I always mispronounce his name. He tells me how to pronounce it. I think that's as good as I can get. But Kevin redshirted last year and gained 28 pounds, and he's going to give us something too inside.
What about Stafford Trueheart? What do you see his role being?
Yeah, I think Stafford pretty much had the same kind of role he had last year. I don't know that I guess at times we could move him into the middle there and just go really, really small, but I think he'll basically have the same kind of role he had last year.
And we'll remind everyone, Hofstra men's basketball season tickets just $180. That gives you all the men's and all the women's games, all 16 men's games, all 13 Hofstra women's basketball games. And one of the main draws for your team, at least, is Justin Wright Foreman, the CAA Player of the Year last year. Most likely going to be the preseason's Player of the Year, as if that really matters to him. It's all about what you do on the court. But one of the most electrifying guys I've ever seen in person. I mean, how do you describe him to the fans? Why should people want to come see Justin Wright Foreman?
Well, he's a gifted scorer. And let's face it, when you watch a basketball game, you want to see somebody put that ball in the basket. And Justin puts the ball in the basket. And every time you think he can't do something, he does. He defies logic. He makes big shots. He makes tough shots. He just scores on all kinds of levels. He doesn't just shoot. He drives. He dunks. He gets fouled. He's just an exciting player, and I'm glad we got him.
What about Eli Pemberton? He's kind of the yin to the yang, if you will, of
He
Justin
is.
Wright Foreman in the scoring.
I like that. He is. I mean, those are going to be the 2 guys. I mean, you think back about Wanya Green. I mean, Tanksley and those kind of combinations, and these 2 guys come to mind. Justin Wright Foreman and Elijah Pemberton. You just said it. They're the yin and the yang.
So with all those weapons that we've mentioned and some other guys obviously on the team that we didn't get to, what's your outlook for the season? Obviously, it's 2 months to go, but what do you see your team accomplishing?
Well, we like every other team, we've got our question marks. How do we replace the rebounding that we lost with Rock? I mean, Rock was the 3rd leading rebounder in the country. Who's going to get those rebounds? Can it be? I don't think it can be one guy, but can we do it as a team? Can we get better defensively? I mean, we're a good offensive team, but can we get a little bit better defensively? I mean, I think we work towards that, and hopefully we can. But how will we defend? How will we rebound? And then, how will we blend all these guys? We've got a bunch of guys that can play. I mentioned the 3 guys in the middle, and then then we have 4 starters returning because DeJour Bowie and Stafford and Justin and Elijah. But Kenny Wormley's been a starter, and Jalen Ray is an exciting player. We have another new player in Tariq Coburn. So it's exciting, and at the same time we got a lot of work to do.
So one final time, and that sounds exciting. We're going to give you the way to get the tickets. $180, men's and women's basketball season tickets. You get them all with the $180. It's family fun. It's fun entertainment. Cheapest you'll get on Long Island. I mean, come on, things are expensive. I don't want to go to Manhattan. Do you want to go to Manhattan to get basketball? No, come here.
Every time I hear that $180, I can't believe it. It's a great deal. And you know, the other things to think about, like we have a terrific team, a fun team, an exciting team, a great style, a good bunch of guys. But we also have a dance line. We have cheerleaders. We have a band. Those three groups are off the charts as well in a beautiful, beautiful arena. So I promise you, try it once, you'll do it forever. It's a great night.
Probably the best arena in the CAA from what I've seen. I've seen all 10 of them as of you, obviously. So HofstraTickets.com or 516-HOFTIXX to purchase your season tickets, or come to the Max Sports Complex. Say hello whenever the ticket office is open. Head Coach Joe Mihalik, thanks so much.
Great being with you, Mark. Great to have you back. Thanks.
Thanks so much for watching, and get ready for some basketball.